Oh, that light's gonna be in the way. Turn this light out here. There we go. That way it ain't blinding you. This goes out to Big Nick, man. I wanted to say, man, I appreciate what you're doing for your public, the citizens of Florida. Um, if I could clap without dropping my phone, I'd applaud you, and I do. I got a story to tell you, and it happened. I live in Indiana, and it happened up in Floyd County. It was up on the Knobs, and I was leaving an ex-girlfriend's grandparents' house. It was late at night, and we was leaving. Well, before I get into the story, there was police that was going up and down the street with their lights on. Like I said, it was late. It's probably 1, 2 in the morning. And I didn't know it, but there had to happen just to be a break-in of some young kids that were breaking into some houses and taking some narcotics or elderly people's medicines and stuff, painkillers and stuff. But I didn't find this out until after, when we got pulled over, that the sheriff, he was a young sheriff, and I think he just became sheriff or something. He must have not been a sheriff long, because he was just real cocky with me, you know. And I had all these stickers on my truck that was constitutional stickers, don't tread on me, government stickers, you know, just stuff to show that I know my rights. And I think that kind of did it. I think they seen that and decided to see how cocky I was going to be or what. I don't know. But they pulled me over, and I had my ex-girlfriend with me, and got me for a traffic violation. They thought I was under the influence of something. Yeah, because he said I swerved over and crossed the center lane of the road, and he thought I was drinking, and I wasn't. And I told him, I said, it's laid out. I said, I was getting ready to head home. We was just heading from our grandparents' house. Told him, I didn't even have to really tell him that much, but I told him. And he just went on about, and my ex-girlfriend was like, you know, why are you interrogating us? You know, what's going on? Why? And then got a good cop on one side, bad cop on the other, which was the sheriff, young sheriff at that. But I said he wanted to search my truck. I can't remember, he didn't ask me, but he was wording it to where he wanted to search my truck. I told him no. I said, unless you got probable cause or you got a search warrant from that judge, if you want to call him up, wake him up about 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, see if he can get one, I said, you can go ahead and do that. So he talked to the good cop, you know. They was talking it over while we was sitting there waiting. He says, he comes walking back up, and he says, you got anything to hide? I said, I don't have nothing to hide. I said, that's the first thing that you all, you know, think. And I said, look, I said, I shouldn't have said this, but I was being honest with him. And I said, when I woke up and got up out of bed this morning, I said, I woke up in America. I said, and so did you. I said, so I'm using my rights as a citizen of the United States that you took an oath to uphold. I said, so at least do your job and do it right. And so he got mad, started giving me all this stuff about him being a citizen too, and he's got rights and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. And I was like, you know what? I said, I'm just telling you my rights, okay? That's why I'm not letting you search my vehicle. And he said, after that, he was okay. But he was still kind of, sit. He was still cocky and being kind of belligerent. So he said, well, we're going to get the K9 out. So I was like, there's nothing I can do on that. I said, if that's what you feel that you got to do, and hold us up for another 45 minutes. I said, I'll wait. So we waited there for about 20 minutes, probably 25. K9 showed up, and he asked us to step away from the vehicle, get out of the vehicle and step away from it for the dog. So I told my ex, I said, just leave your purse in my truck and get out and shut the door. Make sure you shut it. And I said, you tell that officer over there, you shut the door. Because I don't want what you call a welcoming invite. You leave the door open and walk away, then that's a welcoming invite. So she shut the door, and I shut mine. We walk over and stand away from the dog, and that sheriff, he said, if that dog tips, my partner or me or anything about my truck, he said, we're going to tear your truck apart. We're going to tear everything out of it, and we're going to search it. And I said, he ain't going to find nothing. I said, that dog ain't going to tip off to anything. I said, there ain't nothing in there that you all need to be concerned about. And I said, I'm just your citizen leaving tonight. Just happened to be at his bad time or whatever. I told him, because he was doing his job. He was just happened to be a break-in. We were in that area, but I wasn't going to let him violate my rights or my ex-girlfriend's either. So after dog went around 3 or 4 times and didn't do nothing, and the cop's like, okay, he said, you're all free to go. He said, so I walked my girl back to the passenger side of the truck and opened the door for her, let her get in, and then shut it, and I told her I'd be right back. I said, I'm going to have to talk to this officer. He needs me over here real quick. So she's like, okay. So I walk over, and he gives me my firearm back. And, of course, like all the time when they take your firearm from you, they take the clip or the magazine, whatever you want to call it, and take all the ammunition out of it, and they give you it all back in pieces, not the firearm. They don't field strip it or nothing, but they just give you your magazine and your bullets in separate. Then you got to put all that stuff back in it. But but before I walked away, I thought it was odd, and I'll never forget this. He said, if you felt that this traffic stop was in any form of a violation of your rights, he said, I will give you my name and my badge number and my partner's name and his badge number, and you can file a complaint with us if you choose to. And I told him, I said, no. I said, look, y'all just doing your job. I said, and you came off on me kind of cocky at first, but when you knew that I wasn't nobody and did a search, he said, he understood where I was coming from. But we left that night, and I tell you what, I haven't seen that sheriff up there, because I was up there several other times, quite a bit. I hadn't seen that sheriff up there. That was the run-in I've had with him. I don't know. My dad always told me, just like you, Big Nick, if you don't use your rights, you're going to lose your rights. And you made a remark to one of the officers, like on one of your videos here, that why don't you educate the citizens of Florida? When they stop you and pull you over, and instead of tricking the ones that don't know their rights and just searching them anyways, how come you don't educate them? How come you don't say, I would like to search your vehicle. Would you give me that right to search your vehicle? But I want to let you know that constitutionally, you have the right to deny that search. You're right. You're absolutely right. Why don't they educate the citizens? Well, they won't, because you both know it's not a job, but it's like a gang. The police are kind of like a gang. They got their own clique, and it stays within the network of the police department. But it's people like you and others out there I just don't video the footage. I should, but I don't. But then again, I don't give a reason to have police pull me over. You know, I don't do anything. But now, if they ever pull me over for something, no, I stand my grounds. I was brought up right, just like you, Big Nick. You was brought up right, and I love the security guard there on that one where he came up. He said, I seen your videos. You got a subscriber. And he said, I love you. I appreciate what you're doing. And you both said you're all's love. And this just the way it's got to be. You're right. It's the way it's got to be. This is America. And what you're doing, Big Nick, you're pushing back at the system. And that's what we need to do. So don't ever give up. Keep being a good man. And keep educating. Knowledge is power. And that's what you're doing. You're giving people power. Just keep doing the right thing. Don't go outside the law. And keep doing what you're doing. And every now and then when I can, I'll keep sending you a few dollars here and a few dollars there as I watch your videos. Because I like them. You're a good man. So keep up the good work. How's that go? I got my TV up here. Big Nick, South Florida Accountability. I like that. God bless. Bye.